brother, man, you look so...
The first of the OG Avengers to receive a fourth installment in their franchise, Thor electrified screens in the Marvel Cinematic Universe's latest film, Thor: Love and Thunder. Upon the announcement of Gorr the God Butcher as the big baddie, fans expected this film to host a handful of gods, and director Taika Waititi did not disappoint, delivering a slew of deities both from Asgard and beyond, like way beyond. We're here to do what we do best and rank these supreme beings in a somewhat particular order, from familiar faces and new introductions to the quite bizarre and rather delicious. This is every god in Thor: Love and Thunder ranked. What are the odds that the titular character of the franchise would make our list? The last time we saw Chris Hemsworth's Thor was in Avengers Endgame. After defeating Thanos, Thor left New Asgard and Earth once again, along with the Guardians of the Galaxy to help those in need across the universe. In Love and Thunder, we catch up with Thor and the newly lamented, and at least in his mind, Asgardians of the Galaxy. With patience wearing thin between Thor and his comrades, and after receiving a distress signal from Lady Sif, Chris Pratt's iconic Star-Lord suggests his frenemy Thor take some time to pursue himself and focus on the people he loves in life. Thor, feeling as though he has lost virtually everybody he's ever loved and recognizing that Lady Sif may be next, he agrees and sets off on his fourth solo cinematic endeavor. As the God of Thunder, with the ability to not only wield Mjolnir but also the cosmic battle axe Stormbreaker, Thor sits comfortably and deservedly at any position on our list. Lady Sif is in love with Thor. Thor does not love Lady Sif.
You're welcome.
Well, he loves Lady Sif, just not in that way, at least not anymore. However, that does not stop our hero from rushing to Sif's aid after her intense battle with Gorr. Surviving the fight, but losing an arm in the process, Lady Sif, portrayed by Jamie Alexander, is proven time and again to be one tough Asgardian cookie. I wonder if she'll visit with Shuri in Wakanda and get the Winter Soldier treatment. Last seen in this franchise all the way back in Thor: The Dark World, many have questioned where Lady Sif has been this whole time. Making a couple of appearances in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is canonically questionable to the main MCU timeline, as well as in episode 4 of Loki, trapped in some sort of flashback time loop, Sif's absence has been chalked up to either being snapped away by Thanos or banished by Loki. Regardless, she has been a consistent battler throughout both the Thor film franchise and comic book history alike. A warrior goddess who's fought alongside Thor, Balder, and the Warriors 3 for hundreds of years, Lady Sif ranks among the elite of the Asgardians. They say if you love something, let it go, and if it comes back with Asgardian armor, biceps, and a magic hammer, then it's meant to be. I may be paraphrasing a little bit, but nonetheless, Jane Foster, played by Natalie Portman, finally makes her proper return to the Thor franchise and does so in shocking fashion. See what I did there?
Jane?
Draped head to toe in familiar armor and wielding Thor's estranged hammer Mjolnir, it's revealed quite early in the film that Jane has been rendered worthy of the mighty mallet after Thor unknowingly enchanted Mjolnir to always take care of her.
Oh.
Unfortunately for Jane, although deemed the mighty Thor, she is sick with stage 4 cancer. On top of that, every time she uses her newfound powers, she becomes even more sick. As a first-time fighter in this movie, Jane holds her own in battles not only against Gorr the God Butcher, but against his army of shadow creatures as well. With all of the abilities Thor would normally have, and Mjolnir responding to her calls first, the mighty Thor could probably give Lady Sif a run for her money. If you haven't seen the movie or managed to sit through everything except for the mid and post-credit scenes because somehow you didn't know Marvel did this sort of thing yet, you'll be happy to know that Idris Elba and his portrayal of the all-seeing, all-hearing protector of the Bifrost, Heimdall, returns after the credits roll, greeting Jane Foster at the gates of Valhalla. Having not been seen since being vanquished by Thanos all the way back in Avengers Infinity War, it's a relief to confirm Heimdall is alive and well. Well, sort of alive, you know, you get my point. Seeing him on screen is what I mean. Heimdall's life has effectively been dedicating to protecting Asgard and the Bifrost. Willing and confident, stepping up to any foe or intruder, including Thanos himself, Heimdall, with his giant sword Hofund, is said to be one of the strongest of all Asgardians. Good luck getting across that bridge. Astrid Heimdall's son meaning son of Heimdall, meaning yes, Heimdall had a son this whole time, head explode emoji. Astrid, adopting the name Axel due to his Guns N' Roses fanhood, is in fact the son of Heimdall and a regular old Asgardian woman named Grace. Well, as regular as any old Asgardian woman can be, that is. After being kidnapped along with other new Asgardian children by Gorr the God Butcher in an attempt to lure Thor into bringing him the Stormbreaker, Axel positioned himself in the role of a leader amongst the other kids, telling stories to his peers, providing them with hope and comfort during times of fear and darkness. It is revealed Axel also possesses powers identical to his father's, albeit at a much lower level for now. Being able to astrally project Thor into whatever frightening realm Gorr held the children captive, Axel was pivotal in giving the other kids confidence, allowing Thor to keep an eye on them throughout his journey as well. Not much is known about Axel, as he is one of the many characters created uniquely for this film with no backstory to pull from comic book pages. Unafraid while talking back to Gorr and refusing to outright stooge on the whereabouts of Thor and his battle axe Stormbreaker, Axel is slowly but surely developing those protective instincts his father possesses, leading the other children into battle against Gorr's symbiote-like shadow monsters in the final act and training his sword skills back home. Under the tutelage of the next entry on our list, it's safe to say the future of New Asgard is under gold, watchful eyes. Newest member of Thor's circle of friends and sitting king of New Asgard, Valkyrie has kept busy in the years since we last visited her humble kingdom. On second thought, this kingdom may not be as humble as we remembered.
Hey.
Once a small oceanside village turned into an economically thriving tourist destination, Valkyrie has done a wonderful job getting New Asgard recognition across the world. Old Spice commercials, endorsements, and even securing a professional basketball team, Valkyrie has modernized her flourishing new home while also staying true and honoring Asgardian traditions and teachings. Although her successes are plentiful as King, Valkyrie, portrayed by Tessa Thompson, finds herself bored with such a simple and chill way of life. Because, ruling a whole race of extraterrestrial gods whose homeworld has been destroyed is so simple, right? She yearns for what she feels is her true calling in life, going to battle and fighting once more. As the sole survivor of a race of warrior goddesses, it's no surprise that upon the discovery of Gorr's attack on the children of New Asgard, that King Valkyrie stepped up off of the throne and back into the battlefield. Ready to start getting weird? Well, I am. The next few entries on our ranked list are sure to make you laugh, scratch your head, or possibly rub your hungry tummy. Although an entirely brand new Marvel character, Rapu holds vast significance as the first god officially butchered by Gorr in the MCU, that is. In the comic books, the first god Gorr vanquished was an unnamed golden armored god who was incapacitated after battling with Null, the god of darkness and creator of both the symbiotes and the Necrosword. The reasons why Waititi made these changes probably had to do with the fact that anything Spider-Man related in the MCU remains under the purview of Sony. For shame. In Love and Thunder, Rapu was the god that Gorr worshipped as his own, egotistical, arrogant, self-serving, and these are some of his good qualities. Rapu is the type of god that demands praise, but demeans those who do. Rapu is a relatively giant deity with mortal longevity and probably super strength and speed. Too bad for Rapu, none of that was a factor once Gorr got his hands on the Necrosword, putting an end to Rapu's narcissistic existence. God of the Kronans and worshipped on planet Rhea, nothing is known of Ninny of the Nonny other than he looks just like his followers and sits atop a throne of scissors, because rock beats scissors. Hilarious. Another character from the mind of director Taika Waititi that has never been portrayed in the comics before, the brief moment we interact with Ninny of the Nonny provides one of the best laughs of the film. Seeking safety in Omnipotence City upon presumably learning about Gorr and his initiative, Thor's best friend Korg points out his homeworld's god right away, who takes his seat as a member of the Council of Godheads. Exploring more of the history and tradition on planet Rhea in this film, we learn that Kronans give birth by standing in a volcano and holding hands with one another over lava for months. The Kronans are strictly a race of males only. While the Kronans being notoriously known as fighters in every universe and Korg proving quite formidable himself over the years, I'm willing to bet the blue rock god Ninny is anything but a ninny. Whether or not these traditions and warrior ways were implemented, practiced, and passed on by Ninny of the Nonny remains a mystery, and probably will stay that way until we get a Korg spin-off series on Disney+, but that's highly unlikely.
All peoples and aliens of the universe.
They say every great cowboy relies on his trusty steed. I say every great space Viking should rely on his screaming goats. Now I know what you're thinking. These two gods, ranked list, how can this be? Allow me to elaborate. After aiding the race of aliens at the beginning of the movie, Thor and friends are gifted with two comedically annoying goats, TOOTHGNASHER and TOOTHGRINDER. Although more or less used for laughs throughout Love and Thunder, in the comic books, these two goats are much more than simple cosmic creatures used for pulling Thor's chariot. Referred to as the Lords of the Goats and lifted directly from Norse mythology, TOOTHGNASHER and TOOTHGRINDER have gone to battle for and alongside Thor on multiple occasions. As children, Loki thought he would trick Thor by persuading him into selecting goats instead of horses for his chariot. Thor would get the last laugh, however, as these two horn-headed heroes proved much more exceptional than any regular steed. Their abilities include being able to traverse the universe at lightning-fast speed and possessing the stubbornness of, well, goats. Yep, I did it. I put Bao on this list. Yet another one of Taika Waititi's insane and lovable creations, Bao, God of Dumplings, is one of the most adorable and scrumptious looking deities I've ever seen. With no basis in the Marvel comics and resembling an anime character in Thor Love and Thunder, Bao is more than likely based off of the Disney-made short film of the same name, which is centered around an anthropomorphic dumpling. Not to mention, Bao buns in Chinese cuisine are a larger, steamed variant of the traditional dumpling. I'm getting hungry. Recognized and acknowledged by the likes of Thor while firmly claiming a seat within the Council of Godheads, Bao must taste great with soy sauce and chili oil. It is unclear who or what exactly prays to this digestible deity, but you can be sure that wherever they are in the universe, they're hopefully pork or vegetable filled. Jokes aside, although unlikely to make another appearance within the MCU, Bao was one of the more memorable gods in Omnipotence City and may hold the key to the greatest power of all, the power of money. Bao totally gives off Baby Yoda vibes, and I can see the merchandise checks rolling in already. The leader of the Council of Godheads and ruler of Omnipotence City, Zeus, portrayed by Russell Crowe, is a cynical showman who Thor claims to have modeled himself after. Exposed as no role model indeed, Zeus comes across as cowardly and drunk off more than just power. Acknowledging the attacks on his fellow gods perpetrated by Gorr, Zeus is overly comfortable within the safeguard of Omnipotence City. Surely, Zeus at one point in time was an exceptionally powerful god, feared and honored by all. However, after being easily dismantled at the hands of Thor and his own enchanted thunderbolt blade, Zeus at one point is thought to have perished in this film. As we come to learn later on in the mid-credit scene, Zeus is very much alive. Now, with an even greater grudge aimed towards Thor and his faculties, Zeus looks to his own family for help in tracking down not only Thor, but other heroes as well. Which brings us to the next entry ranked on our list. Kept under wraps until the mid-credit scene of the film, Hercules, son of Zeus, is now MCU official. A stalwart member of the Avengers, Hercules has been an often teased and much requested addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Although tasked with handling his father's anti-hero biddings come his next live-action appearance, one would be foolish to assume we don't eventually see Hercules standing alongside the newest lineup of Avengers as they ward off bad guys like Kang the Conqueror or Galactus. As both an ally and foe of Thor on more occasions than I'm able to count, the demigod Hercules will certainly prove to be the God of Thunder's toughest test to date. Personally, I hope that the title of the 5th installment in this franchise is simply called Thor vs. Hercules. I will pay to watch them fight for 2+ hours easily. Brother, and one with infinity while simultaneously remaining his own cosmic entity, the bodiless embodiment of the Marvel Universe itself, Eternity, was revealed in Thor Love and Thunder as Gorr's ultimate endgame. Gorr is under the belief that if he is able to reach Eternity, he will be granted one request or wish, if you will. Ironically enough, Gorr, who claims to have lost the entirety of his faith in all gods for some reason, continues to have faith in this one. Appearing very seldom in the comics and making his first official appearance inside the MCU, Eternity is not a cosmic god to be trifled with. One of the most powerful and omniscient beings in all of Marvel, garnering the ability to create matter and sentient life out of nothingness, as well as the ability to end said life on whim. Eternity is quite literally just a few steps below the most powerful cosmic god in all of Marvel history. Staying entirely out of any natural events that occur, whether good or bad, Eternity's purpose is to maintain the order of the universe. With the biggest spoiler of them all being named literally in the title of the movie this entire time, Thor Love and Thunder is precisely about just that, love and thunder. After Thor convinces Gorr to ask Eternity to bring his daughter back to life as opposed to wishing for all gods to meet their demise, Eternity obliges and returns Gorr's daughter to him in the form of a deity, which is also the living embodiment of love. Gorr, on death's door due to the corruption of the Necrosword, asks Thor with his very last breath to take care of his daughter. Love is another Taika Waititi original character never seen before, but it's perhaps a play on Mistress Love from the Marvel Comics. Thor, now taking on the role of a father after losing Jane again for good, begins to teach Love how to wield Stormbreaker, and follow in his footsteps as one of the Earth's mightiest heroes. Whoa! And that's, my mortal friends, is every god in Thor Love and Thunder ranked. Did you enjoy our list? Did we leave anyone out? If so, feel free to sound off in the comments and let us know. And while you're at it, consider hitting those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. Thanks for watching CBR.